Welcome everybody. You know that it's a South African YouTuber if it starts with, vibes, man. Maybe African YouTubers, we just have that vibe, man. Yeah. Kutiswayini namuntlha. Yo. Welcome back to Chat with Tisa, everyone. It's your favorite Tsonga girl. Man. No, namasibona muskuri. Swikona. Leswi ntsongo leswi nga cinciwa. Kuri hi sasekisa ndawu, man. South Africa, thank you for 11 official languages because, no man, it sounds nice on the tongue. Yes, before we get started, let's cheers to more subscribers. Drink to that. Hey. Cheers, everybody. Tip it to the screen. Cheers. No matter what you're drinking or eating. Cheers. Non-alcoholic. Sprite, lemon, and ice. In the last video that you watched, about me talking about being abroad and how being abroad really, should I say, changed my life, and how that was the best decision I could have ever made for me and for my family, okay? And you are probably now considering going abroad and you're like, guys, I'm going, Nami. But before you leave South Africa, if you are considering leaving South Africa, there are a few things that I would say, you know what? Get these things sorted and done first before you leave. Simple things. You can do it now. Quick. I was lucky that all those things were sort of in place naturally, and I was just being lucky. But I almost did things that could have halted or inhibited or slowed down or made things difficult for me when it comes to purchasing property while abroad, when it comes to investing while abroad, when it comes to sending money while abroad, etc. So today we're discussing those things that, you know what, these are fundamentals. Get them done, get them sorted now while you're also doing your documentation process to the country that you have now decided to go to, be it Saudi, the UAE, Qatar, Taiwan, South Korea, which other one? Thailand, Vietnam, maybe other European countries or the USA, wherever you're going, okay? Wherever you're leaving and going to go work and you're going to be gone for a while, you don't want to be flying back to South Africa now to go and sort out your proof of residence. I know that maybe you might feel like, I've had enough with South Africa. I'm gonna tear this SIM card up and leave it here. These cards, I don't need them. I'm going abroad now. I'm gonna live there. I'm gonna have this and this and that there. So I don't need these things. Please, give yourself options, okay? Go abroad, yes, but set yourself up for investing, set yourself up for saving, set yourself up for building a better financial future in South Africa while you are abroad, so that when you go back to South Africa, you're like, yeah, I come back as a different class. I was poor before, now with proper things, not like clothes, but things like property and investments, okay? You've set those things up. Number one on the list, after now you're doing your whole visa application process, that's all good and well, depending on the country that you're going to and depending on the requirements that they have. Right, now, your SIM card. When I came to China, I had 2 SIM cards, okay? I think the one you guys can guess which mobile network provider that was because I had a contract with them. As soon as I landed here, that thing didn't roam. It was off. It was just as good as me having left my SIM card in SA. It was of no use. I actually still have the actual SIM, but it was of no use, okay? So be with a mobile network provider that roams internationally, okay? This is very important because you're gonna need, for example, your OTP PIN when you for example, are doing banking sometimes. Just for important things, there's certain messages or OTPs that you're going to need, or not only banking but other applications as well that might be South African based and so forth. So make sure that your SIM card allows for roaming, okay? Not that one. And anyone that is abroad and still has their South African SIM card that was able to roam, please name drop a mobile network provider for us. But Telkom didn't roam. I don't know if they roam now, but either than that, you might go abroad, you know, fanana botisa. Just like abotisa, you know, you're like, now I want to buy an iPhone, or now I want to buy a certain device or whatever. And then now your SIM card is this size now. SIM cards are sold with different adapters, right? So travel with your adapters. So and have that Nano and what. Yeah, just make sure you have the adapters. So luckily, when I got my new phone, I just took the last number, Nano, put it inside, dual SIM, so China and South African SIM card. Hooray. Nice. If you are on a contract, you might not be able to, actually you won't be able to make use of what is it, minutes, data, none of that will work. I don't even know if your SIM card will work if you are on a contract, if it will roam. So make sure you get yourself a prepaid SIM, and let this be a number that is registered with your bank as well, like, please. So in order for me to keep my SIM card active, I've had this number now for years. Like, ever since I got a phone in my life, I've always had this number. So if anyone is ever looking for me and they still have my number, call me. Not now, I won't get your call. But I've had this number, still have it. And if you want to keep your number, just make sure that every month, 2 months, 3 months, you are topping up. So I just remind myself every 2 months I need to top up. But it seems that I need to top up now every month, because the bank will send me a message to authorize a particular payment just for fraud prevention. They'll send me a message and say respond with ini nani, and then I'm like, oh, if I have to respond to this message, now I'm gonna need to have airtime on that SIM card. So I just top it up and keep it active. If you go abroad and you now have a new SIM card for that country, right, and then you forget and neglect the one that you have in South Africa, they might deactivate your number, recycle it and give it to somebody else, and you don't want that. So top up, okay? Number 2, your banking app. Please, guys, have a bank or bank with a bank that allows you to download and activate an app without needing to go to the branch, where if you have any issues with your app, it can be solved virtually, at home, abroad, whatever, not you needing to go to a bank branch. When I came here, Capitec was a bank that I was using frequently. I have 2 banks that I bank with, but Capitec was the one that I was using frequently. So when I left South Africa, I was like, hi man, this other bank and their fees, let me deactivate this account, let me close it, let me leave this here in South Africa. I think I didn't have time. I think I was in a rush. I think I just thought, you know what, I'll do it when I get to China. Thank goodness I didn't do that, because I bought a new phone. How? Now it's time to activate the Capitec banking app. Zero. Cannot be activated. So go and consult with your bank and find out. And actually, I had done that, Mina. I had asked a consultant at Capitec and they told me whatever they told me. Anyway, so make sure that your app can be activated on a new phone, or you can delete and download it again on your phone or on a new phone while you're abroad without you needing to go to a bank branch. Your app, you're going to do everything on your app. I'm literally on my banking app, my South African banking app, almost every second day or so. If family needs something, you're sending money. If you're making certain purchases, sometimes you need to authorize it on your app. Then your app doesn't work. So I'm so glad I didn't deactivate that account with the other bank, because now that became my main bank, because I couldn't use my Capitec banking app anymore. But what was great was that with my Capitec bank card, I was able to withdraw at an ATM to take out that money that was my first month money upon arrival. I did mention to the consultant as well when I went to the bank that, hey, I'm going to be going abroad and I will be withdrawing money because I'm going to need cash. Because when you get to the country that you're going to, you might not have a bank card maybe for the first month or couple of weeks while your documents are being processed again on that side. So yes, you're undergoing the documentation process now, but when you get to the country which you're going to, they also have to do a whole process there, and sometimes they need that process to be done before you can get a bank card. So in that meantime, you're not able to make certain purchases, buy online, etc., etc. Everything will be you buying stuff in cash. So you either gonna order notes for the country you're going to from your bank, like you can go to, I don't know, like whatever bank you bank with, and tell them that I'm going to China and I need some Chinese renminbi. That's the currency. I need Chinese renminbi, and you can order your notes and travel with money. Or you get to China, you withdraw at an ATM with your South African bank card, where you have notified the bank that you will be making transactions abroad with your card. Because if you don't notify them for security purposes, they'll probably block your card, okay? And maybe try to contact you or send you a message, and now they can't even reach you. It's going to be a mess, okay? So let your bank know, and also let it be a bank that is good with customer service with clients that are abroad. They must be efficient. You know, some of banks nowadays, they have official accounts on social media, like Facebook Messenger, Instagram, etc. Most banks, when I've sent them a message, for example, on Facebook Messenger, make sure that it's a verified account with that blue thingy. They've always like responded after a couple of hours or so to try and assist me. And Shem, my bank, they very efficient, Shem. And even with Capitec, when I needed assistance with making certain transactions, and now I had no access to an app, they were still able to help me virtually. I just needed to verify myself, and they will tell you what they need from you in order to make that transaction on your behalf. But it took time. It's like every time I need to make a transaction, I need to try and get somebody from Capitec to help me out, and that can take like a couple of days, even a week must go by. Your app must work. It must work. So with the other bank, bought a new phone? I know. Bought another new phone? I know. App, no problems whatsoever. Travel with your bank card. Obviously, you're going to need to travel with your bank card so that you can withdraw money, and also your bank card for any online purchases that you might need to make using your card. You're going to need to obviously have that expiration date showing on your card, and turn your card over and look for your CVV number, that 3-digit number at the back of your card. If your card has a close expiration date, before you leave, order another card. So if you know that you've had your card for the past 3 years, 4 years, and so, just get a new card, because my card is about to expire, literally about to expire, and I'm like, oh, but it doesn't matter because I'm going back to my country. You know. But I can imagine if this was still in the early stages of my journey, I was gonna be like, oh Nkosi, for them to send me a card, it's a whole hassle. Will they send me a card? Will they not? Will it arrive, etc., etc.? So make sure that just get a new card before you leave. Get a new card. If you've had the card that you have, maybe you've had it for about a year or 2 years, maybe that's still fine. But over 2 years, just get yourself a new card. You don't want your card to now expire while you are abroad. COVID happened. I didn't know or think that I would be stuck here for a full 3 years without coming home and sorting out these things. And we don't know, guys. We don't know what could happen that could prevent you from being able to be back and forth in South Africa. Or you want to be that person who's abroad, stays put for a good 2-3 years before you go home, because you know that, you know what, I want to just save money and I want to invest and I don't want to waste any money on traveling, you know. So you don't want to be flying back to South Africa for things that you can have sorted out before you leave. Okay. And also make sure that your card is like a Visa, Mastercard as well. I would really say that it's best to travel with some notes. Don't order a lot of notes from the bank, but I think it's best to travel with some money. So I traveled with some South African money, but when I landed in Shenzhen, when I came to China, there was no time for me to go find an exchange, and I needed money. I didn't think I was gonna need money, but because I had paid for my excess luggage in South Africa, and they told me that no, everything is fine. You're gonna get your luggage when you get to China. Sharp, it's fine. The whole trip, layover, it's covered. Get to my layover, and they're like, no, you have to pay 600 renminbi, which is a good 1,000 something, 1,300 and something or so, if I'm converting at the top of my head, for your luggage. And I'm like, I can't even debate with these people. They're like, no, you must pay it. But luckily, a student of mine, which is a story to tell, met me in Shenzhen. We had met when I was teaching at EF online. They met me in Shenzhen to just greet me and meet me, and they covered it for me. They paid for me, so that I was lucky. And he also gave me extra cash for any other thing I might need to pay for as I get to the city that I'm going to. And I did. I needed to take the bus from the airport. And if I didn't have money at that point, I was going to be stranded. I was going to be like a beggar in a new country, asking people for help to buy a bus ticket, to do etc. this and that and that. So yes, there might be currency exchanges when you get there, but China, they looked at my South African rands like, what currency is this? What currency is this really? So order some notes, just enough, okay? And then the rest you can withdraw when you get to the country of your destination. And number 3, some people have been working and are familiar with the tax number, know what their tax number is, or you've been working but you don't necessarily know your tax number. It's your employer that knows your tax number. If you don't know what your tax number is, go to SARS and find out what your tax number is. You're going to need your South African tax number. There were times here in China that asked me for my South African tax number. So please travel with your South African tax number. When you go to SARS, I think they give you a letter stating your tax number. But if you are already abroad or you don't have time to go to SARS, I think you can request it online. I'll look for the link and add it to the description box. And yeah, if the link is not in the description box, that means that it's not possible to get it online. But check the description box and see if you are able to get your tax number. Save it. Save your tax number as one of your contacts on your phone and keep that. Keep your tax number and know your tax number. Okay. Number 4, sort out your proof of residence, guys. So with your proof of residence, when you're applying for things like property or anything that has to do with investing or you registering for something, they're going to need you to provide your proof of residence. So if you don't have a proof of residence or anything that shows your address and your name, right, then sort that out before you leave. What's nice is that the bank that you bank with, your bank statement has an address. Make sure that's still your address. That will serve as your proof of residence. I usually use my bank statement as my proof of residence, okay? So make sure that that is sorted out. If you maybe didn't have a banking account, make sure you open an account in your name and it has an address there that is still active preferably like your parents' address, not somewhere where you're renting, because now you're gonna move, you're gonna be gone, right? So let it be an address that you know is not necessarily going to change anytime soon. So proof of residence in South Africa, you're gonna need to have that. So make sure that that's sorted out, okay? Number 5, make sure that you have some form of credit score or credit history. You can choose if you want to do this, but I feel like if you have a credit score and credit history and you're now abroad and you want to apply for something like a home loan, for example, that at least lets the bank know that this person does have credit, that they are servicing, they are able to make payments. We can trust that they can pay back money, right? So when I got here, buying property was something I wanted to do, but I was like, I want to do it cash. But an opportunity presented itself and I had money saved up, but I still needed more money. So my mom was like, no, let's just apply for a loan. I was like, home loan, me, apply, you. How we did it? We applied and we got the money from the bank, right? So as to not have missed that property opportunity. If we did it my way, I probably would have continued saving and bought my first property cash. But I'm glad that I didn't pass up that opportunity that presented itself at that time. I'm glad I didn't pass it up. So when I left, I had those accounts that I'd paid up. I still had that telecom contract that I had paid up. And that served as some form of credit history for me, and my credit score was still good. So make sure that you at least have some form of credit, and if you already have skweleti so tala, maybe not a lot, but una skweleti, you know, do not think that going abroad will take away your skweleti problems, okay? Look at going abroad as an opportunity for you to close all that debt that you have, okay? And pay everything up. So check your credit score online and see. When you're checking your credit score, it also shows you. I'll also leave a link for websites where you can check your credit score for free. It shows you as well who you're owing. If you see any company there that you like, but I paid these ones up, sort it out. Go to them, send them emails, call them, because calling them when you're abroad, it's going to be costly. I'm talking from experience, okay? So make sure that you check your credit score, check which companies you're still owing. If you feel like, I don't owe these people, get on top of it, call them, don't ignore it, because this will ruin things for you. You're going to be abroad, living your best life, thinking, I'm done with SA. Then one day you want a loan from the bank, or you come back and your credit score is poor, you've been blacklisted, and you're like, how? What? Why? How did that happen? There was a skoloto that you thought you had paid up, or one that you had forgotten about, or one that you're like, but I'm leaving SA. And then now it's back to come and bite you. So make a list. Okay, I owe this company, I owe this, I owe that, I owe that. My debit orders are set already to pay these companies on time. My banking app is active. All of that. Nothing must interrupt your payments for any skolotos that you have. And make sure you know and have paid up letters for anything you feel you have paid up. Find out. Do the calling while you're still in South Africa. You don't want the frustration of trying to get that sorted when you're here. Okay. I think keeping something active is really great for your credit score and credit history. For me, it was, I got a bond shortly after arrival. A couple of months after being here, I got a bond. So my bond became my credit now. Now I have some form of credit that is active. All other things were closed and paid up. Marale Telkom. But my bond served as credit that is active, right? So if you have nothing, absolutely nothing, it's going to be highly frustrating to try and open some form of account while you're abroad, etc. So maybe you can open something small, and maybe you can even set a limit, and maybe you could give it to maybe your mom to shop and buy clothes for your kid, or to buy what they need, but setting a limit. I remember my Freshini account, I had selected that they can increase my limit when they do a review after I don't know how many months. Don't select options like that. You don't want to now find that, oh, I opened an account and my limit was 1,000, and then jiggy after the months go by, your account now has a limit of like 8,000. Set limits. But yeah, have a credit score, credit history, active credit, not equal to Z10 now. And don't forget who you owe, okay? Being abroad will help you pay off your debt. Number 6, travel with all your qualifications. Travel with all your qualifications. Already, for the country that you're going to, they might need you to get certain qualifications and things notarized. So you'll travel with the originals, which is your notarized documents, right? Yeah, travel with your notarized documents. These are very important. Never, ever, ever, ever give them to your employer, okay? I still have mine. The original. Never. Notarized documents, they mustn't keep them. Nobody must keep your documents. And the original certificates, so your degree, but you guys know my name, there's nothing really to hide here. So your degree, I have my TEFL. I don't want to promote them, they were just horrible. Your degree, your TEFL, any other thing you have, any qualification you have. I left my honors degree because I didn't attend my graduation. I was already abroad, but the certificate, I just requested for it to be sent to me instead. And yeah, I've never seen it, I've never held it. I have a picture of it, but had I been in South Africa, I would have traveled with my honors degree as well. Any certificate, just travel with them. You never know what opportunities might arise while you're still here. You don't want to ask people to send a particular document to you and all of that. And I also traveled with my Ash Bukwan Shami, no. Ow, mama, ow. Wearing school uniform, my school. I actually did this at my school, but ran private. Traveled with my ID and my passport. Obviously, you're not going to be able to leave if you don't have your passport. And if you've been an active body like me, make sure you have enough pages in your passport as well. My passport is actually almost full. I might need a new one. And then yeah, the bank cards, 2 bank cards from the banks that I use. I still have their cards right there. Yeah, so make sure original degrees, you have to travel with it. Like, just have a document packet or bag where you put all your documents, something waterproof, water sleeve, whatever, waterproof sleeve, something that will keep everything safe. And don't put it in your checked luggage. Keep it with you with your bag. Don't put it in your clothes now, because what if your bag gets left goopy or something happens to your bag? So have it with you all the time, your documents all the time. Okay, number 7, I have a little basket nyana to show you guys. Okay, with number 7, hey, when I came here, I came with my big heavy laptop. And you know, when you buy a laptop, they usually have like different adapters on there. And I used to ask myself, hi man, why all these adapters gahle? You know, this is South Africa, we just need that soft round one, which is like this one, right? But then I realized that, oh, okay, maybe when you travel, you might actually need a different adapter. So travel with those adapters. None of them actually worked in China. That came with my old laptop. I don't use that laptop anymore. But none of them worked. But when I was still using my old laptop, I had to get this adapter. I had to get a new adapter that I then connected to this. Yeah. So travel with the right adapter. If you don't have those different adapters, travel with, I had traveled with this. Oh guys, I still have this. I had traveled with this one, but the apartment where I stayed, it didn't have this type of port. But this does work in China, but it didn't have this type of port, so it was useless. I ended up buying something like this. I don't know where I got it. I forgot where I got this thing. I'm not sure where I got this, but maybe go to like Game, Macro, these stores, and ask them for an international adapter. It is so convenient. It's like it's got these four. Okay, let me show you what it's like first. So it's like this here, right? And then it's got these four thingies that allow you to, like, if I push this one, this is obviously like South Africa and I don't know which other country, right? And then if I push this, I'm not sure which country, but yeah. Oh, it writes it here, UK. Okay. China was this one. This one was for China. And is there another one? Yeah, and then over here, obviously, you can stick in different things over here. So this, try and find something like this. Try and find something like this. It looks like this. Okay. Oh, guys. In Malaysia, South Africa, I have 20, maybe 30 rand in here. Ah. And what else do I have in this thing? Oh, me. I've got my Smart Shopper card, Macro card. Ow. Staking a car. Where was I going with these things? Edgar's U points. Yeah. Clicks Club card. My How Train card. Does it expire? I'm gonna need this one. Does it expire? This probably is the most useful thing to keep. Foshini, rewards, fanatics. Oh wow. I don't think these will still work in SA. But Batung, I'm such a hoarder. I kept these things. Okay, number 8. So for number 8, make sure that you download a language app for the country that you're traveling to. You know, what's nice about China is that they're very open to using translators. I think they have developed some of the best translating apps to help them communicate with foreigners and to help them learn English. So their apps were very convenient, and if you are struggling to even communicate with a Chinese person, they're not going to just look at you. On their phone, they will activate an app to try and communicate with you. But when I yourself just travel with an app for translation, download it, let it be there. If it's a country where English is not the main or common language, because you'll need help while trying to get around. Okay. Either than a translation app, also just an app where you can learn some basic phrases and words, you know, like how to greet, how to say thank you, how to, you know, common phrases. Just put in some sort of interest in learning the language and learning something that actually will just make your life easier. Like, 你好，请帮我一下, you know, hello, please help me for a moment, you know, and they're gonna appreciate that. They're gonna be so like, 你的中文真好，真好，说不错。I'm a China chef. You can just say 你好 and they'll be like, 说得好。You're saying it well. You know, 你好，请帮我一下. You know, done, and they'll help you. You show them what it is on your phone. 你好，这个 this thing, 这个 this, you know. This is China, guys. This is China, like some of our South African languages. 这个 this thing. 你好，你看一下，please look a little bit. You show them. 怎么，you're like how to. Learn something. You guys might not necessarily be coming to China, but whatever country, approaching somebody by greeting them first in their language and then saying thank you, 谢谢, and saying please, 请, those sort of things. Hey, yeah, nah, I really miss just being able to open Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, hassle-free, no problems. No, not in China and some other countries as well. You might need a VPN in order for you to access those social networks. At least with my banking app, I don't need a VPN. If I did, you imagine. So a VPN essentially allows you to access those websites that might be blocked in that country. Imagine, we can't even watch Netflix here, but we use VPN. VPN allows us to access our Facebooks, our WhatsApps, our Instagrams, our Netflix, and other apps as well. So download a VPN before you leave South Africa. I know that for Apple devices, even if you're not in South Africa and you're already in that country, it can still be easy for you to download a VPN. But with my Android phone, when I got here, I wasn't able to download a VPN when I was already here. So I needed to download it when I was still in South Africa. So I had known that part at least. So make sure you download a VPN before you leave. Make sure of that, okay? Even if you think that that country doesn't need a VPN, I think just download a VPN and have that on your phone. And last but not least, number 10. So number 10, I wrote down things like checking your policies. Maybe you have some type of insurance, right? And that insurance might have a clause about you being abroad for X amount of time or a particular thing happening while you're abroad and you need to claim. Find out, right? I'll give you an example. Travel insurance, even if you were to get travel insurance, it only covers you for a certain period. After a certain period, and you were also not traveling for holiday purposes, you were traveling for work purposes, right? So don't get unnecessary insurance, and check your policies that you have and what clause they have regarding you being outside of South Africa, okay? And having a will, guys, in the past 3 years, I think I've heard of 4 South Africans that passed on while here. And I can imagine like what the circumstances were for each of them. And I can imagine that, not having a will in place for these sort of things that happen, which are part of life, you're setting your family up for struggle, So me, who's even speaking right now, maybe my lawyer might be watching this and be like, I sent you documents that you're supposed to send back to me, to set up your will, which is something I'm currently I'm going to be active. I'm going to get it done. And when I get it done, I'll share with you guys as well about setting up a will. It's very important to do that, okay? And especially if you have beneficiaries that you'd like to leave certain things behind for, have a will, have it set up. Power of attorney. I think I would have made my mom my power of attorney, and that would have made a lot of things easier. A lot easier. I actually had to send back a power of attorney document while under lockdown here in China, and I needed to go to the embassy, which is in another city, which feels like another country, to travel there. Isn't this ning? So have somebody that you trust that can be your power of attorney to sign on your behalf when it comes to certain things. Somebody that you might not need it, but you might need it. For example, if you have a child, or you have certain things going on that might need you to be there, but you're not there. So having a power of attorney would be very convenient. And I'll consult my lawyer a bit more and engage them about the topic of power of attorneys and wills. And we will be back here on Chat with Tessa to talk more about it, of course. I think that's about it. Those are the 10 things that you should make sure you consider and sort out before you leave South Africa. It is exciting to leave, very exciting. You can feel like I am done. Ek is full. I'm done with this place. Send right. But you don't want to get to where you're going and be like, oh my goodness, oh this, oh that, oh that. And we're traveling, guys. We're going abroad because we want to make money, we want to travel, we want to experience life in a different country, etc. But I think a priority is also just investing back home so that you have something to go back home for, right? When I left South Africa, I was like, I'm not coming back here. I'm leaving for good. Even if I don't have this, even if I don't have, I'm gone. It's for an indefinite period. 3 years in, I'm like, no, man. I do want to be back home. I do want to be back with my family. And maybe I'll come back abroad again, but that's not what I feel like right now. Right now, I feel like I've done my 3 years and a half. Yeah, it's been 3 years and a half now. I don't see myself here for a 4th. And I'm going to go back home pretty soon. And when I go home, kishapu, I don't have to necessarily job hunt. I'm not in a hurry to job hunt. I'm not in a hurry to, get an income, because I set myself up financially, while I was here. So having these things sorted and being focused and having a goal when you come here, when I say here, I'm just talking abroad, outside of South Africa, not necessarily China. Having a goal that's set and you stay financially focused, right? And you invest in property and you invest your money and let it grow, you literally will go back to South Africa and be able to maintain your lifestyle, because your lifestyle will change abroad. It will. Ezinye izinto manje, I'm just like, no, that was me then when I was in South Africa. Now, no, please, count me out. Yeah, can you taxi? If it's a local, no, for 20 years of my life, no, I've been doing that. Now, I don't want that. So I know that my lifestyle when I'm in South Africa is going to be very different to the lifestyle I had when I left. Now I'm going to want a car. Now I want an apartment, a place to stay. I don't want to stay at home with my family, etc., etc., all these things. So I need to be able to maintain that while I'm also trying to create other forms of income for myself, right? But essentially, you don't want to downgrade your life when you go back to South Africa. And the best way to not have to do that is to make sure that you come here abroad focused, with your things in order. Izinto zakho kumele zihambe ngeline. Sifamba kahle iline, so swihlangana la swihlangana kuko. Alright, so thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. And there's always this thing that we do when we watch all the way to the end. We leave some hearts of a particular kind, right? And today we are leaving a black heart, a black heart or a blue heart. Blue? Should we do blue? Oh no, guys, let's do the one. You see a heart, a black heart, with those sparkles, those ting 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 ting. Thank you, Na Cancer. Goodbye.